Begin in seated, sitting on the edge of your blanket. Tilt those hips forward, push the flesh from your buttocks up. Lengthen the spine long and tall, roll those shoulders back. Close your eyes, take a nice deep breath in and settle. Connecting your breath with your mind. Lengthening your breath. Evening out your breath. And feeling your breath. Feeling your entire spine, noticing all of the chakra points. On your next inhale, reach your arms up. Holding at the top. And when you're ready, exhale nice and slow all the way down. One more time up. This time follow your chakras with your breath and your awareness up that spine. Going as slow as you need to. Holding at the top. And when you're ready, coming back down. One more time, all the way up. Really reaching out, engaging the arms a bit more through the fingertips. Noticing the energy beginning to flow within the body. Place your hands on your knees. Inhale, lean forward for some seated cat-cows. Feeling that spine and the different movements in each vertebrae. Feeling your spine warming up, going deeper and deeper into the cat and cows as your body and your spine begin to open up a little bit more. Engaging your shoulders, rolling them forward on the exhale, and rolling them as far back on the inhale, opening those chest muscles in the front. A few more here. So let yourself go deep. Hinging forward as best you can on the inhale. And rolling back as deep as you can on the exhale. After the exhale, inhale to a neutral tall spine, lengthening up. Take a nice deep inhale of awareness and an exhale of stillness. Take a breath. And on your next exhale, walk your hands out in front, lean forward, bring your head to the floor. Feel a nice stretch in your hips and your low back. Dropping that head, releasing to the floor. Keep your awareness on your inner body, your hips and your back. As we hold this pose, I want you to keep your consciousness in your body and really feel the muscles start to open up. Noticing how the body wants to sink deeper towards the floor as your muscles begin to open up even more. Feeling your glutes blossoming open. Keeping the breath steady and even. A few more deep breaths of awareness here. Feeling those shoulders as well beginning to open up. Your armpits, so it's almost like your armpits are carving out space. When you're ready on an inhale, slowly walk your torso up, walk your hands one at a time until you've lengthened your spine all the way up. On a nice deep inhale, and exhale, drop the head back for a slight back bend. You can even walk your hands behind you, roll those shoulders back, place the hands on the ground for support. Breathing into the heart space. Take a few breaths here. Keep your awareness on your heart and your chest, feeling those intercostal muscles opening up. Keeping those shoulder blades together. Feeling a nice stretch in the front of your neck. Breathing in and out the nose. Until inhale, you slowly lean up forward into a neutral spine. Inhale, bring the arms back up. Reach, reach, reach. Exhale, drop the right arm, reach the left arm over. Side, right, left side body stretch. Take a breath here. Going deeper on the exhale. And then a nice deep inhale in towards center. Exhale, other side. Take a breath here. Going deeper on your exhale. Inhale back to center. Exhale, drop your arms, interlace your fingers behind your back. Pull the shoulders back, wrists together, open up, deep inhale up, look towards the sky. Take a breath here. Really pull those arms back. And on an exhale, release. And then again, walk your hands back down towards center, lean forward. Feeling the difference now in your entire body. Inching your fingers a little bit farther forward. And then inhale, coming back up, coming onto our hands and knees. Finding a nice balance with the floor in your body. Making any micro movements, knees under hips, wrists under elbows. And then come into your cat-cows, pressing your feet and your hands into the floor. Keeping your entire body active. Feeling how loose your spine is beginning to feel, how much more open the spaces are between each vertebrae. Almost as if your spine is getting oiled up. to a neutral spine. Begin to balance on that left leg. Send the right leg up behind you. Extend through the hamstring and out the heel. Keep the right leg straight. Keep the foot engaged. And then do some circles with that. And then reverse those circles in your foot and the ankle. Loosen up that ankle joint. Any movements here that feel good, up and down or around. And then bend that knee at a 90-degree angle and kick that foot up. Engage the glutes. You can kick fast or slow, just as long as you're engaging your glutes here for a nice hamstring and glute exercise. Awakening that right leg. Feeling a burn in that right glute. A few more glute presses here. Before exhaling, dropping that leg down. Making any slight movements in the body, preparing for the left leg to elevate. Sinking, bringing your weight into the right hand and the right leg, and then lifting that left leg behind you. Engaging that foot, feeling that line of energy coming out behind the heel, and then roll that ankle. And then reverse that roll other way. Perhaps some up and down movements. And then bend that knee, bend that foot up towards the ceiling, and kick that glute up. Noticing any differences on this side. A few more here. Feel that burn. Keep your breath steady. And then exhale, drop that foot down. You can keep your knees closed or wide for a nice child's pose here. And then sink down into the floor, keeping your awareness in those glutes and in the belly region. Take a few deep, steady, conscious breaths here. When you're ready, inhaling back to tabletop, curling the toes under and pushing back to our first downward facing dog. Walking it out. And then finding stillness with a few breaths. Keeping those hips tilted, working on bringing those heels to the mat, pressing into the palms. Gaze can go up towards the navel. On your next inhale, lean forward to plank. Engage the core, strong arms. Keep those shoulders over the wrists and hold this plank for a couple breaths. And on that second exhale, slowly bend the elbows, coming down, chaturanga. Inhale, peeling up, baby cobra or cobra. And then taking a breath, holding this pose Feeling the hips sinking towards the mat. Try to opening up that front ab space. Roll those shoulders back. Keep the toes pointed. And on your next exhale, curl the toes, push back to downward facing dog. Inhale, step or hop to the front of your mat for a half lift. And then exhale, forward fold. Bending at the knees if it feels good. Inhale, rooting to rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. In a strong mountain pose, go ahead and close your eyes, set an intention for tonight's practice. Feel the four corners of the feet. Slightly inner spiral those legs towards one another. Feel that energy coming up the spine and out through your crown. Pressing those hands together. Feeling the entirety of your spine and your chakra system. Deep, steady breaths. And on your next inhale, raise the arms back up overhead. Full body stretch, slight back bend here. On an exhale, hinge forward, drop down to the floor. Bending of the knees is acceptable if that feels good. We're just gonna kind of hang here for a few breaths, so get comfortable. Bending of the knees. If you'd like to grab elbows or gorilla or build into the gorilla. Use your intuition here to let your body blossom open. Keeping those legs inner spiraled towards one another. Let gravity take over the upper torso. Feeling more blossoming within your calves, hamstrings, and glutes. Really feel the glutes really blossoming open here as we hold this pose. Keep the breath steady. Few more deep breaths. Let yourself inch a little bit deeper into the fold. Go past your normal edge. And when you're ready, slight bend of the knees. Deep inhale up overhead. And a strong detoxifying exhale out. And then a strong inhale back up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, half lift, lengthen that spine. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise up. Detoxifying breath down. Let's do this 2 more times. Go with your pace. Let yourself go meditative breaths and movements. Lengthen that crown energy out the crown on the half lift. One more time. Squeeze out every drop of breath. Fill the lungs to maximum capacity. Let's build on that into a salutation. Arms up. Hinge forward. Half lift. Exhale, plant the hands and plank. Shift your weight forward, exhale down. Inhale, peel up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step the right foot forward, drop the left knee. Inhale, reach up, low lunge. Take a few breaths here. Let that left hip and left quad really blossom open here. Sinking those hips down. Perhaps a back bend if that feels good. Pressing into that front foot. Keep your awareness on those hips and that left quad. And on your next exhale, round down, plant the hands, curl the left toes under, step the right foot up towards the ceiling, three-legged dog. Take a few breaths here. And then exhale, float that foot down, back to downward facing dog. Take a breath here. And then on your next inhale, step the left foot forward, drop the right knee, coming into the low lunge on this side. Keeping that knee over the ankle. Option to use a knee pad if this hurts your knee at home. Coming into a back bend if that feels good. Letting that right quad and right hip blossom open. Sinking down deeper. Pushing those glutes forward. Keep your breath steady and conscious. And on your next exhale, round down, hands to the mat, curl the right toes under, step that left foot up towards the sky for three-legged dog. Take a few breaths here. Then exhale, drop that foot down. Back to three-legged dog or option for child's pose here. On an inhale, step or hop to the front of your mat for a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. Exhale, close the eyes, back to that strong, engaged mountain pose with chakras aligned and spinning. Take 3 breaths of awareness here. Feeling the energy flow, the heart beating, the heat that you've accumulated in your body. And after that 3rd breath, inhale all the way up. Exhale down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back. Shift forward, chaturanga, hug those elbows in. Peeling up, perhaps up dog this time. Curl the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, step the right foot forward. Plant the back left foot, coming up to warrior 1. Have our feet in 2 track lines. Excuse me, 1 track line, I'm sorry. Pressing into that front foot, making sure that knee is over the ankle. You can shorten your stance or widen it, depending on where you'd like to take your warrior one today. Feeling all the edges of the corners of both feet, pulling that energy up through the legs, strong legs. Let your breath take you deeper into the pose. Keep pressing into both feet, strong legs, strong quad. A few more deep breaths here. Before opening up to warrior two, sending that back foot at a 90-degree. Shoulders come in alignment with the body, looking over the right fingertips, and then sink back into that front leg. Looking over your right fingertips. Keep your breath steady and still. A few more deep breaths here. On your next exhale, windmill the arms down, plant the hands. Step back to downward facing dog or child's pose. Take a few connecting breaths here. Before inhaling, stepping the left foot forward, planting that back right foot, one track line, coming into our warrior one on this side. Tuck that tailbone under, engage that core, roll the shoulders back, strong front. Noticing any differences on this side. Making sure that knee is over the ankle. You can still see that big toe coming behind the knee. Nice deep breaths. Pressing into the corners of your feet. Really locking in with the dristi, a point to look at. On your next inhale, open up to warrior two on this side. Feet come into one track line here. Looking over the left fingertips. Shoulders roll down the back. Strong arms, strong core, strong legs. Focus on the breath. Feel yourself go deeper into the pose. A few more deep breaths. Before exhaling, windmilling the arms down, Plant that hand, step back, downward facing dog or child's pose. Taking a few connecting breaths of restoration wherever you are. Finding that alert stillness that's flowing within your body. A few more deep restorative breaths. Coming into tabletop. Finding a nice even weight distribution with the floor in your body, making any micro movements for finding complete equilibrium with you and the ground. Shift your weight towards your left, into your left knee and your left hand. Raise that right leg up. Now shift the weight into that right hand and then lift the left arm up. Feeling two lines of energy coming out the right leg and the left arm. Gaze can stay on the ground or over the fingertips. Engaging, keeping that back foot engaged, strong core. Reaching forward while simultaneously kicking back. Deep, steady breaths. And exhale, release down. Making any micro movements for the other side here. Shifting the weight into the right leg and the right palm. Lift the left leg behind you. Now shift back into that left arm, left hand. And when you're ready, lift the right arm up. Keep that back foot engaged, strong core. Reach forward through the fingertips on that right hand. Keep the breath steady. Feel the energy pulsating out behind the leg and out the arm. And then exhale, drop down. Push back into hero's pose. Knees together, big toes kissing. Lengthen through the spine. Roll the shoulders back. Take a nice detoxifying exhale out. Inhale, arms overhead, lift up onto your legs, onto your shins. And exhale, sink back down. Arms come down with you. Deep inhale, consciously coming all the way up, reaching through the fingertips. And exhaling, coming back down. One more time, deep inhale up. Slight back bend this time. Hold the breath. And then exhale, come back down. Lean forward, plant your hands on the earth. Curl the toes under and then bring the heels back down to the ground for a nice toe stretch. Keep the spine long. Engage the toes. Feel the intensity in your feet and let yourself breathe through it. If it's too much, you can always lean forward and come out of it. But I encourage you to stay as long as you can. Bring your awareness into both feet. Feeling those deep arches in your feet. The toes are crunching. Bring awareness to each one of your toes. Nice steady breaths. A few more breaths. Exhale, lean forward, flatten the feet back onto the earth. Feel the opposite stretch. Lean back. If you need to massage your back of your feet for comfort, please do. That's a very intense stretch. Lean forward, cross the ankles, sit back into easy pose. Send the legs long. And very slowly engage the core, lower down one vertebrae at a time onto your back. Shifting into your center of your mat, of course. When you come all the way down, hug the knees to chest. Slight rock from side to side. Engage your feet, roll the ankles, open up the toes. Reverse that roll. Any movement here in the feet that feels good for your feet. And then find stillness, actively bringing your toes towards your shins, keeping that calf stretch, hugging the knees into center, trying to bring those shoulder blades down to the earth. Open up your legs, send the knees wide. Kind of like you're pulling your knees down to the earth away from your center midline for a nice inner leg stretch. Come back to center, drop the knees. Lift the right foot, plant the right foot over the left quad. Bend the left foot, bring the left leg closer to you. Interlace your fingers underneath that left quad. And pull that left leg in towards center for a nice supine pigeon here. You should feel a nice stretch in your right quad, in your right hip. Engage both feet. And on an inhale, straighten that left leg up towards the ceiling. And then begin to walk your arms up that leg, bringing the shoulder blades off the ground. Chin tucks under. And then walk your arms back down, shoulder blades come back onto the earth. Bend the knee, bring that foot back to the earth, and reverse that stretch. So bring the left leg over the right knee. Bring the right leg in towards center. Interlace your fingers behind your right quad or your right hamstring. Pull that leg towards center. Engaging both feet. Feeling now the stretch in the left quad, or excuse me, the left glute, the left hip. Nice deep steady breaths. straighten that right foot forward. Lift the shoulder blades up. Begin to walk your hands up your right leg towards that foot. Chin to chest, head to the knee as close as you can. Exhale, slowly release, bend that leg back to the earth, plant the foot on the ground. Bring both feet to the earth. Walk your feet to the edges of the mat and windshield wiper your knees back and forth. Couple more here. Before coming back to center, send the legs long, reach your arms overhead for a full body stretch. Deep inhale, strong exhale, crunch it in, become small into a tight seed. Lift the shoulder blades up. And then strong exhale, full body stretch, full inhale. And then keep this flow going. Few more here. Before ending in a full body stretch, and exhaling, releasing into the mat, sending the arms at your side towards your hips, on the side of your hips. Bend the knees, bring the feet to the earth, lift the hips up, tuck those shoulders in. For a bridge pose, you can have your hands interlaced behind your back, under your back. Engage the quad, lift the hips up. Feet are parallel with one another. Engage those glutes and quads. Deep belly breaths here. Lift those abs up. Squeeze the butt. Squeeze the quads. Press into the feet. Steady your breath. Few more breaths here. And exhale, release your hands. Slowly send your hips back to the mat. And then hug the knees in for a nice counter pose on that lower spine. Rocking from side to side if that feels good. Opening up to happy baby, grabbing the edges of your feet. Working on bringing those shoulder blades down to the mat. Feeling the entirety of this pose. Finding that alert stillness within you. Go ahead ahead and bend the knees, bring the feet towards each other, send the legs back, and begin to slight roll along the spine. Use your body weight and inertia to begin to roll along that spine until you've made it all the way up, balancing on your hip bones, keeping those feet suspended in the air. Engaging the core. When you've come up onto your sit bones, roll those shoulders back, finding balance and equilibrium in your body. A few more breaths of alert stillness in this balancing pose. Before exhaling, dropping the feet down, hinging forward, lowering down towards your feet for a forward fold Baddha Konasana. Perhaps even giving your feet a nice little massage here if that feels good for you. Feeling the knees sinking towards the earth, dropping down, gravity taking over as they're blossomed open and wanting to just fall towards the earth at your sides. Going deeper into the forward fold as your body begins to want to go deeper into the pose. Keep the breath steady and aware. Let yourself fall into a nice, deep, relaxed, meditative state where your mind, body, and soul are all connected with the one great awareness. Take a few more deep breaths. For inhaling, rising up very, very slowly. Lengthening the spine out through the crown. Sending the legs long. And very slowly, one vertebrae at a time, lowering down. Bending the knees. Planting the feet into the earth, walking each foot out to the edges of the mat. Drop the knees in towards one another. Let them fall in. Let your spine realign. This pose lets your spine kind of fall naturally into place. If you'd like to place a little blanket underneath your head too, that would be helpful for your practice. Feel your body melting into the earth below you. Release all the tension in your body. Feeling the belly rise and the belly fall. On an inhale, heel toe your feet back together. Bring your bottoms of your feet to touch. Send the knees out to the edges of your mat for a supine Baddha Konasana. Let go of the breath. And just let yourself fall into a deep meditative state. You can stay here in this Baddha Konasana for your final Shavasana, or if you'd like to send your legs long for a traditional Shavasana. Begin to bring movement back into the body. Rolling of the ankles and the wrists. Deep belly inhale with the arms overhead for a full body stretch. And then rolling onto one side. Making your way up into seated easy pose, sitting on the edge of a blanket when you're ready. Rolling the shoulders back, lengthening through the crown, closing the eyes. Coming back to that alert stillness within the body. Taking a few meditative deep breaths. Opening the eyes, coming back into the body. Slight movements that feel good. Nice deep cleansing inhale and exhale. This concludes tonight's practice. I thank you very, very much. From my heart to yours. Namaste.